Hello again, this is John Wild, here to give you another look at repair of vintage action figures, and this time we're going to be working with the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Warduke figure. Now this story begins sadly last Christmas during a Christmas party I was hosting at my house. One of my guests decided to give this guy a little tryout, and he snapped off Warduke's head. So it's been almost a full year I've been without my Warduke. As you can see from the top of the figure, it snapped clean off at the neck, and the rest of the piece is stuck inside his head. So I was contemplating throughout the year what I was going to do. So over time I've accumulated a couple more Warduke figures. So I got a quarter Warduke from my friend John Gaither, and then I also picked up from my local toy store a Warduke, and each one of these have unique breakage issues. This Warduke has lost most of his helmet, and his arms and legs are in reasonable shape, and this one here that John sent me is he's missing an arm and his legs, but his helmet is in reasonable shape. And I surmise basically that I can build one good Warduke out of the parts of all of these Wardukes. So let's do an anatomy lesson of Warduke first. Okay, using a penknife, the favorite tool of toy polloi, I used the blade, and I took the half body Warduke and then just basically inserted the knife down inside of the body itself and just started working along on both sides of the figure until I was able to crack the figure open, which I was able to do. Unfortunately though, it does make a mess of the figure. The sides are pretty well marred up, and they're definitely not salvageable in that sense. But basically getting a look inside of the figure, we can see there was a post there that the rubber band, there's a rubber band that basically, or an O-ring here, that used to run down and it would attach onto the legs, hang off that post, and that's the way the legs attach. The arms are just a ball joint with a little T-bar on it, and the head, surprisingly, because the figure that I had it snapped at the head, I thought that the peg was separate from the body, but it's not. The peg appears to be part of the body itself, the front half of the body, in fact. So what I think I can do is to repair the head. I think I can use the boil and pop method, and I think I can get the head off. So let's boil up some water and see if I can do that. Okay, so we've got a tea towel, also known as a dishcloth here in the States. I got a cup of freshly boiled water, and first thing I'm going to do is I'll use my test Warduke, the one that's all broken up into pieces. So I'm just going to give him a dunk and wait 30 seconds. Alright, so it's been 30 seconds. I'm going to use a set of kitchen tongs here and let the figure kind of mellow here for a second, because if I touch him, he's going to be scalding hot, which he's very hot. He's very warm. So I think if I just pull, yep, there he goes, and the head pulled right off. So as you can see, the Warduke figure has a neck peg that's attached onto the front half of the figure, and again with the O-ring into the center. But if you have a decent head for your Warduke, you can use the boil and pop method and remove it. So let's take another figure that I have, which is this Warduke here that has the helmet that's not in good shape, and we'll give him a dunk for 30 seconds like so, and give it 30 seconds and we'll come back and see if we can do the same. Okay, so he's been in there for a little while. Let him get a little bit of that hot water off of him, and same thing goes. A little bit spilled out on me there, and same thing goes. Just kind of grab the head, give it a twist, and it pops right off. So now this figure, all I need to do is put this head, which is still relatively soft, from there and pop it down onto the figure like so, and guess what? Look at that. I'm gonna complete Warduke here. So let's get on to seeing if we can do something with the legs if there was an issue. So let's talk about that now. Okay, so the original figure that I had last year that the head was popped off, broke off of, has decent legs, and he's got a good arm. Just doesn't have a neck peg, which right now is kind of an unfortunate thing. So basically, once you lose that neck peg, unless you're going to glue the head right back onto the figure, or possibly drill through there and replace that with using the toy ploy Lego technique, which you could do. Basically, that's the only thing you're going to be able to do with this. So, I mean, he's still in really decent shape, but his legs can be reused. Now, a lot of the times you find Warduke figures that are missing their legs because the rubber band is snapped on the inside. So, what I'm guessing we can do here is if we pull apart here, you can see that there's a hook in there and a rubber band that's holding it down. Now, I'd imagine if I take a screwdriver, and after I pulled this apart like so, that if I stick the screwdriver, I could probably put the screwdriver right inside of the legs like so, and that would hold the legs down. If I pull out far enough, I'm pretty sure I can probably get that hook off, which I did, and now I have a set of Warduke legs that are good and ready to put onto another figure. And this Warduke here has rubber band still attached, so if we wanted to reattach these on, just pull this down, and if I get it onto the thinner part of the screwdriver, I can pull it out pretty far and be able to reattach the legs onto this figure. So let's just say this was a top half of a Warduke figure that had its head. Let's just say, it was missing its legs. We've got this, which is a T-hook with standard kind of G.I. Joe thing. If we just kind of take this and stretch it out, we should be able to hook the legs back on to the rubber band, and then pull the screwdriver out, and then the legs will reattach onto the figure like so. So if you had a Warduke that was good on the top side and just had bad legs, and you found this figure in a cheapy bin or something like that, it's always worthwhile to pick up. Okay, so that's been my repair video of the Warduke figure from LJN's Advanced Dungeons and Dragon line. That figure came out in 1984. And before you see some of the tools that I used: penknife and hot water and a towel. Let's take a look at the results. So here he is. Now I have a complete Warduke back in my collection with the head attached, and the figure's in very nice condition, and I'm really glad to have him back and ready for battle. So if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe if you're not already to catch my latest uploads. I'm going to do some more restoration stuff like this. It appears that people like seeing these things, and also I have some more features on some upcoming toy lines that I'm going to be looking at. Flash Gordon, we're going to be looking at, and we're going to be looking at the OSI headquarters from $6 Million Man, and also going to be looking at the Mighty Crusaders line from Remco. So stay tuned for those. Those will be coming up here in the upcoming weeks. So thank you very much.